Real question is, how many witnesses did Muhammad have when he claimed that he was visited by Jibril in the cave? Question mark. So this is not the first time, and I don't think it would be the last time that some Christian actually bring forth the discussion or the argument about how many witnesses that actually witnessed Jibril come to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the cave, right? So to that I responded, because he said when he claimed. So I say, when he claimed is the operating word, isn't it? It is not an account of a third party person, basically, that we have to ask who exactly is the witness, question mark, like the case of the Bible, right? So what I'm emphasizing here is that when the story is told by the person himself, for example, really I go through this experience, right? You do not ask, okay, what is the who is the witness, how many witness, because it's either he's telling the truth or he's lying, right? It's not like, because especially when he says about something that there's no other people there. So the question of demanding the number of witness to then, if there's many witnesses, for example, only then that story is true, is a bit weird, right? It's not like, because the Bible is different. The Bible is different. It's not like the book is written by the person himself. For example, the story of, the woman in the tomb that saw that the tomb is empty, right? So it's not like the book is written by one of the women, because if the woman herself right and says, when I walked in the tomb I saw it's empty, etc., right? So I do not ask how many witness. I ask, wait, is this author, which is the woman that claimed she saw herself something, is he a trustworthy person, right? That's the normal question, because that is a first person testimony, a claim, right? So is this person a trustworthy person? That's the question. It's not like how many witness. In the case of the Bible, the question about witness is valid because the author is someone else, right? So the author says, at that time, at that place, there are some women that saw something. My question is first, okay, so who told you this story? One of the women herself, right? So which one, and do you corroborate the story, etc., right? So that's a valid question to ask, because the person that is telling the story is not the first person that actually experienced the story. And then, so I want to know the chain of transmission, who saw it, etc., right? So the chain of narration, the witness, etc., becomes a logical and valid question, right? But not in the case of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the cave. It's not like someone else says, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam one day he in the cave, etc. So as if a storyteller telling the story, and people say, where do you get the story? Is there any witness? Do you get it from a witness? But when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself is telling the story, the only question is whether you trust him or not, right? So you should ask, is Muhammad a trustworthy person? Can we trust whatever he tells and say? And Muslim can answer that. But if you ask something that is not even having a basis of being a valid question like this, I'm not sure what is there to discuss. Anyway, so let's see what else is happening here. So he replied, did anyone see Angel Gabriel meet Muhammad? Who can verify his claim? No, so this is interesting, right? If you apply the same standard to all story in the Bible, right? For example, who saw Jesus? Is it Paul that claimed he saw Jesus? I don't remember the story, right? Because he saw something. And if I'm not mistaken, is the book from him? So can you say, do you actually ask the same question? Who verify, etc., or not? I'm just asking, because if you ask the same question, at least you are being consistent, right? So for every story that the author himself claim about himself, you ask who can verify, right? So and if you do that, I expect you do a lot more scrutinizing on whatever the author of the gospel did not claim for himself, meaning that the story is not about himself. Then even more scrutiny should be there, right, to be consistent. You want first-hand witness accounts for the resurrection. You want first-hand witnesses account for the resurrection, which we have with the New Testament, but you fail to provide first-hand witness when it comes to Muhammad testimony. What logic is this? Because Muhammad is the witness and testimony, right? Because Muhammad, I'm not sure what the logic here, because if I ask who is exactly telling the story, who among the women that saw the empty tomb, for example, right, who exactly tell the story, that is the first-hand witness, right? So Muhammad SAW that actually encounter the encounter, he is the first-hand witness. So when he tell a story, we already have the first-hand witness. So we have, and I'm being consistent in asking, okay, here we have the first-hand witness. He is the one himself going through that experience. So who exactly is the first-hand witness in that tomb story, for example? What is her name? How did she tell? Who did she tell? And did she tell directly to the author, and the author written verbatim, or he add his own spices? I don't know. So yeah, apply the same standard and see which one pass your standard. I apply, and the Bible does not meet the standard, obviously. If the author of the story in the Bible is the witness himself, I would not ask for other witness. I simply ask whether he is trustworthy, right? So for example, is the author of John, Matthew, etc., is the person himself that saw the empty tomb, that saw Jesus, that saw whatever, and all of the story in his own gospel is first-hand eyewitness, then I simply ask, who is this author and is he trustworthy? But most of the story that each author written is not his own. He is not individually the first-hand witness, right? Most of the story that they told. So that's what I ask. When he is not the witness himself, naturally I ask, where did he get his story from? Is it directly from the witness, or second-hand story, or third-hand story, fourth-hand? Can he specify the chain of narration? So I apply the same standard on the hadith as well. So it is not something I'm only applying onto the Bible. So Muslims do apply this standard to the hadith, right? So who told this narrator, and can we trust every single one of them? Alright, so I think this is already, the reliability of the witness in both cases is a different topic in and of itself. The main question here is, does Muhammad even have a witness to his testimony in cave? How can his story be reliable if he doesn't have anyone with him in the cave? So that is an interesting way of seeing things, right? Do you actually apply that to every single story in the Bible? Because that is interesting. If you actually apply all of those, I am interested to see this discussion, right? Because there's a lot of story in the Bible, right? So do you apply this? Yeah. So I will end the video there. I'm not sure how he see this as a different topic, because it is exactly addressing the issue and the context of seeing the reliability of the witness himself, right? So yeah, feel free to add on if I miss anything or I didn't understand anything. Thank you for watching. See you next time.